And you know, and then I'll give this for example. Sucker Punch does great with women protagonists, bro. They
Yeah.
do. Like I tell people all the time, just like how you said Uncharted Lost Legacy was a fun DLC, Infamous First Light, that was a very fun DLC. Like they made her character better than the dude.
Mm.
It's like so I have a lot of faith in them and I'm very happy. I'm very happy that they're back. I'm happy that they have something.
I'm glad we're getting a game. My whole thing was like, do you feel like the timing works? That's my whole thing.
I
Eh,
don't.
it's whatever. It's
It's
whatever.
not whatever.
No, no, it
It's
does.
not
No, it
whatever.
is, man. Because first of all, and you know, this is something one of my boys has taught me. Like you know, especially in terms of media. Yes, there's a lot of heat of it right now. Yes, but then he's like, Tim, what I've always tell people, bro. But once that success hits, everything is just a race. It's like an automatic refresh of your computer. Next thing you know, those same people who were saying all that, they're right here. Now, yes, you're gonna
So
have the diehard people who just don't like it, period. But then my thing about it is Sucker Punch has proven that they are quality, and that's what you're going to get. You're going to get that level of quality. Now, yes, you know, there's plenty other counter arguments because of Star Wars Outlaws and other things. But then what we're seeing with that particular company is they are on a decline as a whole.
True.
it's that, and it's that it's everywhere in the medium that I can't escape from. You know what I'm saying? So like if
I don't care. I don't
no,
care.
you don't.
Yeah.
You don't.
Yeah.
And you saying that now heighten wait, you don't let me hear your reasons. I just don't care. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
because I'm a buy it and
All
I'm
right.
just
So
gonna
when
enjoy
the
it.
coalition, yeah, no. So when now for them, when the coalition comes, they knock on your door. Yeah, we heard about what you said on your knees. Silence. So you feel me? Because no, that's how extreme it's gonna be. And for me, at certain points, people like that reaction gets me irky because I'm like, yo, like, dog, don't you see that this is going to? It's not even about success because what made the character successful is the heart of it, not the finances, not it trying to be. Now I understand Sucker Punch stands on its own. I never looked at Sucker Punch as someone who is trying to be. They
Compliant.
just want to tell a good
Yeah.
story.
Yeah. They
Yeah,
wanted to do
And
it.
that's
It's
you
but
know
what
what I'm
they
that's
do.
where
saying.
my faith
But
is. That's a,
which is good. They're still gonna do that, but it's still going to over. It's just like it's raining outside. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, it's not enough not today because now every other place that I'm looking to, Lord of the Rings, Star Wars,
what's wrong with Lord of the
He-Man,
Rings?
the one on Prime.
What's wrong with that?
Oh, it's not good, bro. It's
I
trash, bro.
enjoy it. I enjoy it.
I haven't watched it, so I have no
Like
take on
no,
it.
but
Yeah,
first of all,
it's
like with Lord of the Rings, bro, it's always been a slow burn and it's always hit or miss for people. It's just to the point, bro. Everybody has different tastes. Now, my focus about it is, and you know, yes, and I get it. Quality meters different are different from certain people. Because there's certain games that you know that you guys played that I just never can't do. Just like how Ant, you know, he got into survival horror the other day, and he's just like, bro, how can y'all do this? And it's just like, bro, some people are just wired differently, bro. Now, yes, I do feel like, you know, there's a certain standard of quality that needs to be backed up. Like, for example, like, and I'll go into depth about this Star Wars Outlaws should have never happened. It should have never happened, bro, because there's too much lore elements for Star Wars for y'all to fumble that hard. And for it to be the first game with y'all using the Star Wars license, that is not good. Because first of all, like, yes, let's get it. You got this girl who is literally like 5 feet, whatever. Like, and this is the combat. That's where it gets me, bro. How are you punching stormtroopers, bro, with your bare hands?
For Tim,
Like,
that's
where's
why it's a potential problem, bro.
no,
That's
no,
the
because
issue right
you can't
there.
give that type of stuff like this, and I would say this absolute power. Because first of all, like you know, even in the midst of all this chaos, we've still seen how some of those scenarios have a very powerful narrative and work. Now, yes,
Yeah,
it's one. every once in a while, or two to three. But like I said, bro, I have faith in it. I have faith in it.
Nah,
And then,
but
like how you said,
it's the thing.
2025, you don't know when. All of this stuff could have been passed over by then.
But I feel
I
like
don't
that's
think
the
so.
same thing. That's like having because for me, there's certain realms that are like constants.
Uh,
Football, football's a constant, right?
Hmm.
If I inject a female player into the game, you yourself would be like, yo, it's not fair. That's what this is because it's fantasy, because the fact that you're relying on people being having a variety is true, but it's also not. That's why certain things repetition works. That's why certain phrases we use are true, right? Certain stereotypes have a bit of truth in it. That's
Hmm.
why it wouldn't be as powerful if people don't say it, right? Like we have an apprehensiveness towards certain companies, and we believe in our mind that these companies don't have any morals, they don't care about you. Prove it. Well, we've seen it time and time again after how their practices, how
Hmm.
they look at Sony, right? Look at how so we were talking about Sony, and this doesn't change to the art form of a thing. If I make a product, they ask you, who is this product for? You have to give a precise answer before I ask you for a certain amount of money.
people.
And if I do this, people, it's not, no, but it's a little bit what type of people,
But
Hmm.
not
but
just
you
any
but then
kind.
you don't know the real spectrums of what this game's audience truly is. You can't really
which
go by
is
that.
which is true, which is
You
true.
don't,
But the thing is, though, and
but you do.
this is why the thing I feel like it's a very tricky rope to walk is because what's happening, and to your point, Tim, is like what's happening is you're getting good writing as the exception, not the standard, right? And it's hurting that storytelling medium because for every arcane, for every blue eyed samurai, there's Star Wars Acolyte, there's Star Wars Outlaws,
Hmm.
there's the writing for the MK1 characters, where it's like it's not true, right? This whole thing of like they're a girl boss, they're better than men in every way. None of that narrative is not true, but it gives more credence to it when it's not backed up by good writing. When the main character of Outlaws is cold cocking stormtroopers with her bare hands at 5'6", and the whole reason is well because she can. When Mary
And
Jane is speeding away like Akira on a motorcycle while symbiotes chase her down, well, it's Mary Jane. It's like
and it's all
that's not a
purpose gun,
yeah,
like
that's
you
not a
feel me?
But
good
that's
Like,
reason.
Hollywood, bro.
and it's not a
That's
That's
Hollywood.
not good.
nah,
No,
bro.
no, I'm
And
not
then the
saying that.
thing
I'm not
is,
saying that that's something that I accept. But then, like I said, bro, like, I do my research as a gamer.
Hmm.
Because for one, you taught me that many years ago.
Hmm.
And look how much money you've saved me since then. And it's the simple fact is like I as a gamer, as a person who's investing in this product, I do my research. I make sure like, yes, does this align with me? Because first of all, yes, I'm investing $70 into you.
Hmm.
70 plus dollars into you.
Hmm.
And that's my decision going forward right there because it's like, yes, no matter what is really going on in the industry, bro, that responsibility is still goes back to us. What aligns with you? What aligns with,
Yeah.
and if it's not aligning with you, just like how Mighty Keith did a post earlier today, and a ex Sony executive replied, he's like, bro, if it's not for you, just don't buy it. And it's
Mm.
as simple as that. And it's not even say like in a very snarky way, but it's the overall truth, just like how you said a constant.
you're
If
right,
it's not
you're
for
right,
you, don't buy
you're
it.
right. And now when it's a million people, you scratch your head.
Because the thing is
Right? Now when
the
it's a
other
million people not buying your
yeah, because like
product, you
the
scratch your head.
extreme version of this, and
So
I'm not
that
saying it's
that
gonna
word
get there.
works.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it's the extreme version of this is yes, I can turn my purchasing dollars elsewhere, but when I look elsewhere, I see this what seems to be the same thing over and over. All we've had is for since last October to now, it has been the year of the girl boss.
And
Sometimes working, but most times
But
not.
then we've
So
and my
also
even though
thing
but then
is,
we've also seen the endless shoveling of the remasters. Now, look at it's the same thing. It's very annoying, first of all. You're very annoying,
Mm-hmm.
just like how you pointed
Mm-hmm.
out. Sometimes it's a good job, and sometimes it's just a very lazy reskin. But then at the end of the day, is yes, they're still selling because obviously they're still doing it because they're selling a good amount of copies. Because with certain people, when they're introduced into these eras, it works for them. Well, I never played this game before. Now I have the chance at the highest resolution possible. But then when somebody like me will like, bro, I already beat the PS3 version of that. I don't care. But then I don't have to like say fully shut it down, shut it down. I could just move on.
Yeah, that's right. I'm gonna let you go, but I think it's just one of those things where it's like because of the climate that we're in, where a lot of the presentations of this have been admittedly lazy, right? I'm like, I think again, using if we were to compare Blue Eye Samurai to Star Wars Acolyte, we're looking at something where it's like, here's good writing,
Yes.
right? Here's something that acknowledges that she's a woman in a man's world, and this is how she maneuvers in that world as a killer
And that's the difficulty.
and but it's done well versus Acolyte, where nonsense happens, Outlaws, where like you're going from here's how this person maneuvers in this world versus she just can, and that's where it gets
And then
tricky.
and
That's
then
how
okay,
you go ahead.
it's that, and it's like okay, it's not Samus Aran's writing. People like Samus, okay, and it's that property, and I used that analogy earlier, Tim. Oh, not because I'm like going at you, but like that's the that's how the person outside feels. You know what I'm saying? Like, because now everything's red to them. They tried to use logic, and now it's just yo. But I see this here again.
Hmm.
I see this here again. I see this here. Star Wars gave us years. They started off with Rey. So this is years and years of people's patience running thin. So now when somebody says like, yo, man, I kind of don't care. I'm like, but dog, don't you see what's happening?
No, I said
It's not,
when I
you
oh let
know,
me rephrase. When I said I don't care, what I meant was like, and it goes back to what I meant about it is on you as a person of what you want to invest in as well. Yes, this world is going to always have its issues. It's going to have its waves. It's going to have its seasons. But then ultimately, you know, people like, one of the Bob Marley sons has said it like, people are going to do what they want. That's what makes the world go around. It's like
Mm-hmm.
you're going to have some people who are going to contribute to this, and it's going to probably be the best thing to them that is good for them. To certain people, hey, it's not my cup of tea. And I use that phrase as a very respectful, grounded level phrase. It's not my
Mm-hmm.
cup of tea, and I don't like this. And that is okay. That is just
Mm-hmm.
okay. Now, I do feel like, yes, on an industry scale, their decisions are going to be accumulation of both. And they're going to make a projection from that to see, all right, where do we want to go with this? Because first of all, like like I said earlier today, bro, I've made it up in my mind. This is my last console generation
Mm-hmm.
because especially being a PlayStation fanboy, and yeah, I'll say fanboy, I'll say loyalist, I would say a consumer since the beginning, bro. It was the PlayStation and a Super Nintendo side by side,
Mm-hmm.
but it's come to the point where it's like, bro, I don't like these Apple level antics. I don't, and especially where I am now, especially as an adult, I cannot afford you, bro.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to enjoy my last few collections, and I'm just going to ride it out. It's going to be It's going to be the best Blu-ray player in the house, and that's just simply,
And
and
that
that's just simply what it is,
yeah,
bro. Like,
that's
but y'all,
fine.
y'all see where I was coming
yeah,
from,
yeah,
right?
No,
no,
I know.
yes,
Because now,
Yes.
because you're doing extreme things, you're gonna get these incels or whatever to give extreme reactions because now it's like, yo, I can't have any, I can't even enjoy it here. That's what I was trying to say. You get what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
it starts
And
to
it was,
infiltrate places that it doesn't make
and
sense.
it's like if I go to buy toilet paper and the cover says you can't wipe better than me, like, dog, what does this have to do with people? You know what I'm saying? It's oversaturated, and this saturation, and not like your Marvel films, like your Marvel film. Every area of entertainment is being encroached by a consistent, and it's a consistent theme. Now, there's companies like Sucker Punch. who don't pride themselves in that. And I can understand Tim's connection to it and being in good faith. That's why, like, yo, bro, you make sense. You make sense.
Made a
But
whole company push their game back.
But you're right. You're right. And then the thing is, you have the other backhand, right? You have the other backhand of that company where it will was that black that actor who funded an indie game. It kind of like played like Prince of Persia.
You mentioned it before in a previous pod, but
Yeah,
the
it's an
name
African
still escapes
game.
me. Still
It's
escapes
an
me.
African.
But I know what you're talking about because you
Yeah,
Oh,
mentioned it and
okay.
I looked it up. Yeah.
yeah. So that game suffered because it was connected to a company, consulting company that people felt like are destroying games, and they suffered greatly because of it. And the
Mm,
game is good. I didn't. For me, because the character was black, that game suffered at the burnt end of what's going on,
Mm.
and because this character, it's going to affect you. Feel? It's just like me and you are. We all are of different ethnicity. I'm not. We all black, but our
different
cultural
cultures.
background's
Yeah.
different.
Mm.
Mm,
But to someone who doesn't care about a Haitian or a Jamaican or a Bahamian, we're just black men and we suffer. You know what I'm saying? We just suffer. I mean, that's the analogy. That's how they're looking at it with that game too. I see a female character. Yeah, this is botch. I don't have.
yeah.
I'm not gonna do the due diligence because I've been
There's
betrayed
also a
before.
flip, and we spoke about this before, and that is very true. Remember, we're also saying that some games companies are also playing on that controversy. Because for example, remember all the people who was talking about Assassin's Creed, do the Yasuke and all this stuff. Those same people was going to buy the game just to talk about it. Because just like how YouTube works, you need that actual media. You need that actual gameplay. Like you're not going to just pirate it from somebody. But it's a simple fact that you bought the game just to talk about it. They
Hmm.
already won. Just like how you said about the scalpers, like
Yeah, but it's
Sony
just the
don't Sony
intention,
don't care
dog.
how
Yeah, that's
as
crazy.
long as these
As long as they were
yeah,
purchased.
it's
Yeah.
it's going to be the same thing because Ant even spoke about this, bro. Like when Rise of the Ronin came out, guess how many people bought that game just to do side by side comparisons of Ghost of Tsushima. So the same thing with this title, bro. People are going to buy this game, to play on the controversy aspects. They are
Hmm.
going to buy that game just to do side by sides with whenever Shadows release.
Man,
And I
I just feel
mark
like
my
that's just
words,
like
that's going to
a.
happen, bro. And guess what? Those views are going to be in the millions just because of the controversy.
Them getting the comments about to be insane.
Yeah,
It's gonna be, it's gonna be,
it's
it's gonna be in the, it's gonna be in the millions, but it's gonna be a millions of, and I don't think that works. You know what I'm saying? It
Yeah.
works for the company. Yeah, I can buy bread, but
Yeah. I think ultimately the issue that like starts to, and we can move the topic forward a little bit because we got two or three things to talk about.
okay.
But I think one of the things that like it introduces maybe a slightly unnecessary problem, right? And what comes to mind is, I've been telling you guys both all year. I'm like, bro, like y'all gotta play Prince of the Persia: The Lost Crown. You gotta play it. You gotta play it. It's so good. It's so good, right? But I remember people at the time were like, we don't want to play. Not saying y'all, but people were like, we don't want to play this. It's a Prince of Persia game with no prince. What? The main guy's black. What? It's like I'm like, listen, for all the
is he
garbage that
black?
he is, but like for all the garbage that Ubisoft has given us, I'm like, this game,
It's the only
it,
quality.
it's quality. It's good.
But
There's
it paid
no
for it. It paid it in a way. It kind of paid for it
no.
because
It
of the
it
aesthetics.
did.
You know what
It's
I'm
one of those
saying?
things where it's going to be a slow grower, right? Where it's like it's going to get nominated. People are like, man, this game actually is pretty fire. But I think that's the thing where it's like we're at this unfortunate thing where it's like that whatever you decide to include is going to get hit with the microscope now because it immediately, to Jory's point, triggers that thought of like, oh no, another one until you play it, right? So like to Tim's point is like, me personally, since anyone who's known me, I'm like, I don't care about playing as women. It's fine. It don't bother me. I like Laura Croft. I like Chloe in Uncharted. I'm like, I don't care
But you know what?
because
You
the
know what sticks
character
out?
writing was there.
It was there, and they were still women.
Mm-hmm.
They were still women. Like if you got me, like if you get, for example, if you get me to ask when I'm watching a movie, right? For example, you try to replace Goku, right? For example, let's say somebody tries to replace Goku. I'm like, yo, Goku could do what makes him different from Goku? He's doing the same exact thing Goku's doing. Why don't I just play as Goku? You get what I'm saying? Because Vegeta is a very good contrast against Goku. They are not the same at all,
Mm-hmm.
even with Vegeta's character progression. You know what I'm saying? They're not the same at all. But like, what makes Samus unique is Samus still feels like a female character. This is her perspective's interesting. Versus it being like, why couldn't a man just be? This couldn't a male character could have just did this. You get what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah. It's like it's
That's
almost like they're focused on the wrong nuances, right? Like it's like if we ever say, for example, we got like a Laura Croft and Nathan Drake crossover game. If I see Laura Croft scaling a cliff side with the same speed as Nathan Drake, it's all a loss out the gate. Because that's not what she's good at. She should be showing, hey, we're in this puzzle. I solve it faster because we've always known Laura Croft to be
And
genius.
she always get impaled and randomly survive.
Yeah, right. But that's the whole thing. I'm not expecting her to be physically dominant to surpass this character. But the problem is with a lot of this modern writing sometimes is like, not only am I your equal, but I'm also better than you. Again, just because. Don't question it. Don't ask me why. I'm just better.
yeah. We imagine we're in second season of Shippuden. Sakura comes out with the Rinnegan because she decided to go to Pain Crib and take the eyes from Pain
And we're just like, that's just because.
after he beat Jiraiya, just because. You know what I'm saying?
I just kind of feel like, bro, yes, the patriarchy exists, and until it gets dismantled, I just kind of feel like we shouldn't give it too much power. You shouldn't give.
I
You
agree.
shouldn't give it too
No,
much
I
power.
agree. I
No,
agree.
we
And
shouldn't, but you almost can't escape it. You know what I'm saying? Because the things that shouldn't give it power are giving it power.
Uh, it's tricky because like I said, bro, Hollywood is such a very complex beast that certain things work out in their favor. Like, for example, like, when there's something going on with a celebrity, whether it's good or bad, you're making that person rich by your clicks on Twitter, by how many times you
mm-hmm,
mention their name. And to be
mm-hmm,
honest, like, that's kind of like the beast of capitalism. Like, as a consumer, whether you love or hate them, if you invest any form of social media marketing, like, which is free marketing, which where a lot of us are doing now these days for them, marketing or our consumer dollar, you become part of the exact same problem. Like, you've just
mm-hmm.
fueled the engine. Now, like, yes, I get it, bro. There's some very hardcore people out there where they're just gonna complain about everything. They really are.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, is like I said, bro, I'm only accountable for myself. I do my research, and if it aligns with me, like Ant said, pull out that card, that Digimon GIF, like, and just swipe it and just have a good day.